Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hi all, welcome to this session on commodity derivative and risk management, and we will continue with the discussion on weather derivatives. And if you recall, we had started discussing about SDD contract and CDD contracts, which are listed at Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And this is the only exchange in the world which has derivative contracts. And also another important point which I must mention at this point of time, that couple of years back CME had many other types of weather derivative contracts, like hurricane contracts on hurricane, contracts on rainfall, snowfall, etc. But because of lack of interest, the CME has discontinued with these weather derivatives. However, very briefly we will be discussing different aspects of these rainfall and snowfall and hurricane derivative contracts, just for sake of our knowledge. And we will also be discussing a little more on this SDD and CDD contracts, which are continued to be offered at CME exchange. So let's go to our discussion on SDD and CDD. If you recall, a day will be treated as a heating degree day. A day requiring heating degree day will be max of 0, base temperature minus Ti. Similarly, a day which will be treated as a cooling degree day, you will have a max Ti minus base temperature, and this base temperature values are given by the exchange. And also another important point about this heating degree day or cooling degree day contract is always with respect to a specific location. USA is a very big country, so temperature varies from location to location on a given day. So if a wheat farmer from Minneapolis is interested to take a wheat futures futures contract on temperature, it must be interested, or it would be keen on taking the temperature related to temperature contract related to Minneapolis. So it will not be interested to take temperature related derivative contracts with respect to other location of USA. And let's quickly discuss about from where we stopped last session. So wheat farmer has a fear of colder winter. So if winter is going to be very cold, the quality of wheat is not going to be good. So it is interested in mitigating this risk by entering into weather derivative. So what is the farmer's fear? Farmer fears that if there are more number of days requiring SDD, heating degree days, the farmer is going to incur loss. So if SDDs are more, it should get benefit from the futures contract. So it enters into a long futures contract, and depending upon the actual value of SDD, the farmer may get money or pay money. So if total SDD value for that given month closes at 690, and the farmer had taken the long futures as 625, and in that case the counterparty to the farmer will pay 130,000 to the farmer, And in the other case, when the SDD closed at 603, the farmer is going to pay 44,000 to the counterparty. Now let's take another example of how in this way the contract can be used by another business. Let's say a hot coffee chain sells in summer month. Suppose the chain fears a hotter summer in coming July and decline in sales. This company is expecting that sales is going to decline, and every year sales declines in the month of July because it's a summer month, and but this year it is expecting that the summer is going to be unusually hotter and the sales is going to be even going down even more than the other years. So how this particular coffee chain will be able to utilize the derivative contract for the derivative contract to mitigate the risk. So my question to you is that whether it will take SDD contract or CDD contract, and whether it will take long futures or short futures. Okay, the answer to my question is this company will take CDD and it will take again long futures position. That is, if there are more number of cooling degree days. So if the summer is hot enough, then you will have more number of cooling degree days. So if there are more number of cooling degree days, this company is going to incur loss because many people will not be interested to drink hot coffee. So if there are more number of cooling days, it would be incurring loss from its revenue, and it would be incurring loss from the coffee sales. So it should be compensated from the futures contract. So it will be entering into a long futures contract. So let's take the CDD value to be the price at which it entered into long futures, or the value at which it entered into long futures position is 1068,068, and his fear comes true, and the company's fear comes true, and it is unusually hotter and requiring people to switch on their ACs, and many people did not venture to drink hot coffee. So in that case, CDD value closed at 1090. So this company will receive cash from the counterparty, which is to the tune of 66,000. Similarly, let's say company is not right in its expectation regarding more number of cooling degree days. So this July month, the number of cooling days was little lesser. So the company, this CDD closed at a value of 1020, and so it is a colder summer month, and it will be paying cash to the counterparty to the tune of 1,44,000. Now, besides this SDD and CDD contracts, CME also offers contracts called CAT, that is cumulative average temperature contract. If you recall, the TI is calculated by by taking average of dailies, 1 day's maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. So in case of a CAT, CAT contract, that is cumulative average temperature contract, the TI is the average of the every hourly temperature. So independent party has to record the hourly temperature, and that hourly temperature divided by sum total of 24 hours temperature divided by 24 gives the the CAT for that day, and CAT for the month will be obviously sum total of the CAT of the day, and accordingly this buyer and seller will be able to take a call on this CAT values, and depending upon the final settlement CAT values, the either long futures will pay money to the short future or vice versa. Exchange also offer contracts on SDD options, so you can have traders take into long call, short call, long put or short put options, and exactly the same way in case of a long call, the exercise value of the SDD or CDD is already pre-decided, and if it is a long call option, if actual SDD is more than the exercise SDD value, the long call option position holder gets money from the short call option position holder. So it is exactly like any other option contract, only the underlying gets decided as the from the value of the CDD or SDD. CME at one point of time, as I mentioned, it had frost, snowfall and rainfall index. Futures contract on frost, snowfall and rainfall index. So at some specific location, let's say Amsterdam airport, USA also had contracts, which is derivative contracts for some specific locations in Europe. So let's say at Amsterdam airport, if the snowfall is beyond certain value, the buyers and sellers will be paying money to each other depending upon the snowfall recorded at specific location. As I mentioned, it could be Amsterdam airport. The specific locations are very, very clearly mentioned. So if I am entering into a futures contract or futures contract or a option contract, I know this particular weather contract is with respect to which location and which weather parameter. So if it is snowfall, then if it's a snowfall contract, but for which location? Is it New York? Is it any other city in USA, or it could be any city in Europe? So depending upon the city or location, if as a buyer or seller, I will be taking position for that particular contract for that city. So also, as you must by this time maybe understanding that this some independent party has to be interested with calculation of this index. So what is going to be the snowfall index? How do you measure the snowfall? Because as soon as the snow falls, it melts. So how do you know how? There has to be some scientific way of recording snowfall. So how do you measure also the frost? So if there is, what is the difference between frost and snowfall? So all these factors were incorporated into the contract specification. And let's say for the snowfall index, there is a way independent party will measure the snowfall at a specific location, and depending upon that value, either long futures party will pay to the short futures position holder or vice versa. And I'm not going into this detail because these contracts are now no more available for trading. So however, the contract specifications are available. It's available just for the sake of information. If you are more interested, you can download this contract information and try to understand more about this. In Indian context, we have multi-commodity exchange preparing and reporting rainfall index for 3 places. I'll just take you through this detail, but there is no derivative contract available for trading on these rainfall indices. So only the index values are reported as of now. Maybe as the time goes by and there are enough enough trader who are interested to trade in this rainfall contracts, this futures and options futures contracts on rainfall can be made available by these Indian exchanges. So you have This is the index value for Mumbai, this is the index value for Indore, and this is the index value for Jaipur. So these are the different values are given. So what are the normal values, index normal values? Normal value for Mumbai is 50, and please note that this index gets calculated only for rainy months. So rainy season, it is never get calculated for other non-rainy season. So in the month of June, so let's see, for Bombay, so 28 June, what is the value of this rainfall index? Rainfall index value for Mumbai is 2079, and it can be interpreted that it is more than the normal value of 1950. So this is just for sake of information. So if you want to again learn more about how these indices are calculated and all, you can visit the MCX website. I would like to also take you through the hurricane index. At one point of time, there's futures contract on hurricane and hurricane was available for trading at Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It was a very, very interesting contract, because the moment you say that somebody can buy and sell hurricane through an exchange derivative contract, people give you this incredulous look that is something wrong with this particular person. How can somebody buy and sell contracts on hurricane? How do you measure hurricane? There has to be some rational and very logical way of measuring a hurricane. When a derivative contracts will be traded, the underlying value has to be quantified properly, because based on this quantification, payment and receipt by long futures and short futures holders are made. So how exactly hurricane, the value of a hurricane was measured? So there were two indices. The first initial indices to measure the value of a hurricane or measure the impact of a hurricane was known as a Saffir-Simpson index. Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale, which was developed in 1969, and this based on this SHH scale, National Hurricane Center of Government of USA categorizes the hurricane on a scale of 1 to 5. So it will be one category 1 if it has a wind speed from 119 to 153, and category 5 will be any hurricane which has a wind speed more than 252 km per hour will be categorized as a hurricane category 5. Now based on this Saffir-Simpson hurricane index, subsequently a new index came into into existence, that is known as Carville Hurricane Index or CHI. The CHI not only took into consideration the wind speed, it also took into consideration the radius of hurricane force wind. So the wind speed as well the the area on which it is covering, or the impact of hurricane is applicable for what is the radius of the area on which the impact of hurricane is felt. So taking into these two data, so CHI, that is Carville Hurricane Index, was calculated. So this detail is mentioned here. V is your maximum sustained wind speed, and V0 is some base value. Similarly, you have R0. R is your radius of hurricane force wind, and R0 is the base value for R. So this is how the index values were calculated. But hurricanes are I mean, how do you know which hurricane, for which hurricane we are calculating these values? So hurricanes started getting getting their names. So if you see this one, this particular website, that is World Meteorological Organization, has listed out the name of the different hurricanes. So let me just increase the size. So the tropical cyclone names worldwide. So Caribbean Sea, all tropical cyclones which are emanating from Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, or North Atlantic sea. So you will have this will be in 2016. The first hurricane to come will be named as Alex, the second one will be Bonnie, third one will be Colin, fourth one will be Daniel, so on and so forth. 2007, 18, 19, 20, 21. So all these years sequentially, as and when the names, the hurricanes will be coming, these will be named. And based on these names, or once a hurricane is named, the exchange used to calculate the value of the hurricane, or the exchange used to inform the status of the hurricane, whether it is a category 1, category 2, and so on and so forth. And depending upon when the hurricane becomes little, the impact of hurricane was considered to be more, or the likelihood of the impact of hurricane is going to be more in terms of its destructive capability, only then the exchange used to list it for trading. Suppose there is a category 1 hurricane. If Alex starts and in the meteorological unit of US government says that the Hurricane Alex is a category 1 hurricane, then probably not many people will be interested to buy and sell the derivative contracts. So after some time, maybe 2-3 days, and the hurricane gathers its momentum and it becomes it shifts from being hurricane category 1 to category 2 or 3, then only the exchange makes this contract available for trading, and only at that point of time the exchange informs what is going to be the Carville index, and that information is given to the people, and then buyers and sellers, whoever is going to be more affected and who are fearing that if the the impact of this hurricane is going to be more, and this company is going to incur loss because of the negative impact of the hurricane, this company will enter into a long futures contract. And if actually the hurricane wreaks havoc and the company incurs loss, or let me put it other way around, if let's say a particular hurricane took an index value of 2 or 2.5 when the contract got listed by the CME, and a particular company entered into a futures contract on the value of 2.7. Now when the hurricane has made a landfall, and on the day of the landfall, let's say the CHI index for that hurricane was 2.9. So that means this company's fear has come to true, and the hurricane impact is more than the agreed upon value of 2.7. So this company is going to get money from the counterparty. Let's say the other way around, this company which has entered into long futures contract on Hurricane Alex at a value of 2.7, and as the day went by, maybe within 3-4 days, the day the landfall happened, that day Alex, the intensity of Alex had gone down, and the CHI index came to, let's say, 1.9. So in that case, this company is going to give payment to the counterparty. Of course, this particular website not only mentions the hurricanes which are going to emanate from Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean Sea. It also lists the hurricanes name to be emanating from other places of the earth. So you have, this is for Eastern North Pacific names, you have Central North Pacific names, you have Western North Pacific and South China names, you have Australian names, you have substantial number of North Indian ocean names. Please see this one. This is, if you recall, a couple of years back, people used to only say that this is the a hurricane is going to come, but nowadays people are talking about hurricane, that is or typhoon or in a cyclone Hudhud. Last year there was a lot of discussion on cyclone Hudhud. So there was earlier a cyclone is going to come, a cyclone is going to come. So all these cyclones were never getting named. But nowadays all cyclones are named because already World Meteorological Organization has already finalized the names. So just for a trivia, so if you see what are the names from Northern Indian Ocean names, so Bangladesh has contributed this. Bangladesh has contributed Onil, Agni, Nisa and Giri. India has contributed Agni, Akash, Bijli, Jal. So so on and so forth. Maldives has given Hibaru, Gonu, Ayla and Kela. If you remember, this Ayla was also Cyclone Ayla or Typhoon Ayla. A couple of years back we were hearing about this particular name. So just to summarize with respect to the hurricane index, that the CHI value is always calculated for a particular hurricane or a particular cyclone, and CME, when these contracts were available for trading, CME used to list these contracts some time just before the this cyclone is about to landfall, maybe 6-7 days before the cyclone is about to make a landfall. And whatever trading was happening during these 6-7 days, and the day the hurricane made a landfall on that day the exchange was coming to an end. So the maturity period of the contract was very short and it was not predefined. It could be 4 days, 5 days or 6 days, as long as the hurricane makes a landfall. Also there are a lot of other weather derivatives on OTC market: river flow, reservoir level index, sea temperature index, wind speed index. So based on many parameters, you had weather derivatives contracts signed by companies in the OTC market, by companies and counterparties. So here this exchange traded weather derivatives contracts have significant amount of basis risk, because geographical and location basis risk is one of the very important risk. It arises due to locational difference between the reference site of weather derivative and the actual production or activity area. As I mentioned, let's say this Nasik farmer grape farmers from Nasik, let's say a temperature contract is available for Nasik region, but let's say grape farmer from Bangalore would like to enter into that temperature contract. So in that case, that kind of if Bangalore grape farmers enter into derivative contracts, temperature related derivative contracts which are based on Nasik's temperature, then this will be an example of a geographical or locational basis risk. Also time and calendar basis risk. The duration of the weather contract or the maturity period of the weather contract may not be coinciding with the actual requirement of the company who is interested to buy or sell those weather contracts. So that gives rise to your time and calendar basis risk. And also product basis risk. What is a product basis risk? Let's say a Bangalore farmer, grape farmer is interested not only to buy a contract on weather, also is interested to buy a contract on frost, because frost also affects the grape output significantly, quality of grape output significantly. So you may have so no exchange traded contract will be able to combine the combine the the risk associated with weather and the frost. So the exchange or this company may have to go for a temperature related contract and a frost related contract. If these are available, of course in India, as I mentioned, none of the weather related contracts are yet to make their debut, and however in these these two sessions I thought of discussing, because this is a very important part of mitigating weather related risk. So with this I will be ending this session, and just to summarize, weather contracts are not, weather derivative contracts are not to mitigate the catastrophic loss, and popular weather derivative contracts which are trading currently at CME is your contracts pertaining to temperature, and you can have contracts on snowfall, rainfall, frost or any weather parameter. And at one point of time hurricane related contracts were traded, and it was a very interesting contract. Of course, most of these contracts are not trading at CME because lack of participation by traders. So with this I will be ending up this discussion, and thanking all of you. Looking forward to again meeting you all in the next session. Thank you all of you.